I already know that. Hi everyone, Anthony Fantano here, the internet's busiest music nerd. And it's time for a review, Domo Genesis, No Idols. Domo Genesis is an MC, member of the California rap clique Odd Future. He's released 3 major projects since he's been with them. In 2010 it was Rolling Papers. Last year he had the Under the Influence mixtape, and this is his latest and really his biggest and most ambitious project so far. And what makes this project special is that not only are there some pretty notable underground hip-hop features on this thing, but all the production is handled by the Alchemist, someone outside the Odd Future circle, somebody who is a pretty awesome and forward-thinking hip-hop producer. He's done remixes, worked with artists like Jake One, Gangrene, Evidence, Freddie Gibbs, Action Bronson, and he brings those connections to this album, which leads to some features with a few of those artists like Freddie Gibbs and Action Bronson. And somehow even spaceghost purrp ends up on this thing, as well as some Odd Future members and Odd Future affiliates like Vince Staples. Now, most importantly, the Alchemist's involvement on this project leads to some really good beats. Right from the word go, with the first instrumental on this thing, Prophecy, you get these really dramatic pianos, dramatic guitar solo, cuts, looped around for a really nice effect, a heavy kick drum, and Domo is flowing over the track a little bit nicer than he has on beats from his previous projects. On the song Fuck Everybody Else, you get a very light string drone hanging in the background. The beat is really sparse. I like how you kind of have a rolling snare drum kind of building up to the kick, building up to the kick on that. There's a nice synth riff in there too. It's really moody instrumental that I think is stellar. And you get some high-pitched vocal samples that are chopped and looped on this thing too, like on the instrumental for All Alone. And I love how on that track specifically, the bass and the drum samples on that thing have such a warm, analog feel to them, like they were lifted straight from vinyl or straight from a cassette tape or something. And the fluttering synths on the track Me and My Bitch are kind of pretty and very conducive for the love song style that track is going for. Overall, with No Idols, the production has a lot of versatility, and I do have to give it to the Alchemist because I don't feel like he really held back with any of the instrumentals on this thing, whether he was giving Domo some instrumentals that he had made beforehand, knowing that they were good, or made them specifically for this project. But I don't feel like this tape is perfect. Any and all issues I have with it pretty much lie with Domo. A lot like that Untitled Haji Beats EP that dropped earlier this year, you get a slew of really great and creative, colorful instrumentals given to an MC who is just really kind of bland. Because as far as the lyrics go on this thing, all I am hearing are cliches, boring stories, and really corny similes. Like on the track Me and My Bitch, which is a love song where Domo pretty much raps about his love for marijuana, but makes marijuana into this woman-like figure in the song. Really? I could probably spend 1 hour on Dat Piff and find 50 songs that do the exact same thing. And I have no reason to believe Domo is doing it any better than any one of them. Even the hook on Me and My Bitch is pretty trashy. Most of the tracks on here do not have hooks though. It's pretty much Domo just rapping straight for 1 to 2 minutes, depending on whether or not there is a verse from a guest. And that would be fine if he was a great lyricist or had a flow that was constantly changing up, wasn't so monotonous, or just had a lot of wordplay to his verses, but he doesn't. Like lifting up like the collar of Kanye on College Dropout. To be honest, when I drop it, I'm knocking the whole block out. It's not terrible, but he's not really saying anything. Just a lot of really empty brags left and right, and nothing clever, nothing funny. Document my awesomeness because I don't like to freestyle. I like to hit the Dougie while she's sucking on my penile. There is not an original lyrical idea or song concept on this entire album. And again, that would be fine if Domo was proficient in what he's doing. Lyrically, this album is very average. It's very middle of the road. Sure, Domo does not come off as angry or hostile or angsty as some of the other Odd Future members, most notably Tyler, who is also on this LP. But in comparison with a guy like Tyler, Domo just doesn't have that much personality. He doesn't have a lot of force to his voice. His flow doesn't really have any dynamic to it. And he doesn't really have a story either. What little story he does have, which really kind of comes out on the first track, sounds like the same story every other struggling internet rapper has to spit about on their personal tracks. I don't even feel like some of the guest features on here bring that much fire, like Action Bronson. I'm like the boss from the end of the Nintendo game. My brain is on another level. I can feel the devil's pain. I've heard him spit better lines than that. But still, I think Action does kind of rap Domo under the table on this album. So does Freddie Gibbs, and so does Domo's Odd Future cohorts. Tyler brings more fire, more excitement, and Earl has more subtle wordplay worked into his verses. So overall, did I find anything horrible on this album? No, not really. But was there anything that I was really interested in or liking aside from the production? No. So I'm kind of feeling a strong 4 to a light 5 on this mixtape. What did you guys think of it if you listened to it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Why? And what should I review next? Remember, the good comment and the great rate, but only the strong subscribe. Anthony Fantano, No Idols, The Alchemist, forever.